Well-known author, investment banker, consumer advocate, analyst, trader. Chris Markowski is the watchdog on Wall Street.
You want answers?
Exposing the lies and myths that the big brokerage firms, the mainstream press, and the government are pushing to keep Americans away from financial freedom.
You can't handle the truth.
Bringing America the truth about what really happens in the financial world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to indulge in fantasy, but in political and economic reality.
This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Alrighty, welcome, everybody. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. A lot of great emails over the course of the week. And I say great emails because it makes me happy because I know we're getting more and more new listeners all across the country, adding new stations just based upon the questions that we're getting. Last week, I spent a great deal of time talking about, in essence, how the sausage is made at Markowski Investments, how we go about doing things, how we evaluate companies, the way that we see the world, and what has made us successful, our clients successful, over the past few decades. And, I during the podcast, during the radio show, we get into some very heady topics and sometimes, disturbing topics when it comes to the terrain here in the United States, the way things are. It's okay. It's okay. You've never, ever heard me say, sell, Mortimer, sell. I'll never forget. Never forget. I was actually giving a speech. I was giving a speech in Asheville, North Carolina, the week that James Cramer was on with Aaron, I think it was Aaron Burnett. They did a special on the Today Show, and he basically, the financial crisis, this had to be 2008, at some point in time, 2008, comes on and tells everybody that they should sell everything. My jaw dropped. If you're in a position where you have to sell everything, and then obviously you get dire straits or something really bad has happened to you and you need to have access to your money, which is understandable. But based upon what was going on in the country at that point in time, James Cramer gave the worst possible advice going. He should have been telling people to, hey, look for value. Look for value. Go back and take a look at the fundamentals of the companies in your portfolio. Get rid of the ones where there are issues. In many cases, certain banking stocks at that point in time, some of the weaker ones, many of them went out of business. We own some of them. We liquidated a bunch of them. It's fine. Did we take some losses on some? Sure. What do? Look for value. Look for value, and it turned out to be one of the greatest buying opportunities in my lifetime. There's a lot that's going on out there. There's a lot of talk right now. Again, some of the questions I'm coming in. Chris, what about stagflation? What does it mean? Here's a story here in the Wall Street Journal. Post-COVID global economy falters due to inflation and supply chain woes. Yeah, some troubles right now, and we're going to delve into that today on the program. Yeah, major supply chain issues, and in many respects, self-inflicted supply chain issues, energy issues. Again, self-inflicted. You need to be able to take advantage of these situations. And how do you take advantage of these situations? By reallocating assets, taking profits off the table, moving into sectors that haven't done as well. Yeah, for example, let's go back 8-9 months, 10 months. 10 months. Energy wasn't a problem at that point in time. Oh, man, all the wizards of smart on TV, all the talking heads, you got to avoid energy at all costs. Stay away from energy. Yeah, I got electric vehicles and batteries and all that stuff and solar panels and energy's going by the wayside. And yeah. How'd that work out? How'd that work out for your portfolio? And again, you can't believe what they're saying because they could be telling you to avoid something on TV and turning around and buying that very thing. This is why I don't understand why you people watch these programs and listen to these fools. They don't care about you. I went back and I took a look. Some of the things that we were talking about back during the financial crisis and some of the problems at that point in time. And it's similar. Similar column I wrote talking about people emailing and calling me to the volatility and the markets. What should I do? What should I do? Oh, my God, the volatility. This program here, I kind of take on the role of Vito Corleone, where he's telling Johnny Fontaine, you can act like a man. You can act like a man. Remember that? Great scene. There's no reason to fear. Never bet on the end of the world. It's only going to happen one time. The reality when it comes to markets, it's all about time frame. And we've gone over this here on the program. You're worried about the volatility in the markets. You're worried about the markets going down. And okay, because they can. And they can go down significantly. If you have a short-term time frame, well, then obviously that concerns you if you need to have access to your money. But the markets are not about that. Anytime you're looking at an investment over a short time frame, it is a risky proposition. You need, again, work, time, and effort. Compounding. This is what creates wealth. This is what creates wealth over time. You talk about recessions. We're going to be talking, we're going to hit a recession. We're going to stagflation, all of this stuff. Talk about business cycles. The people in the media are always trying to find, and where is the next recession? Where is it going to come from? Where is it going to be? Is it around the corner? Let's get people nervous out there. It makes no sense. And you know what's funny, too? Conventional wisdom. Again, this is what they're preaching to you all the time. Equities, along with the economy, are going to head south during a recession. The reality situation is stocks usually come down more often than not before a recession. And once the recession is actually declared, what happens? The market looks forward to a recovery and equities start to respond favorably. Okay, again, I don't try to time this stuff. I understand it. I understand how it works, but I don't try to time it. Any type of slowdown, any type of thought of stagflation, recession, it shouldn't change your long-term philosophy. Recessions are going to come and recessions are going to go. Do I think that we're going to see lower economic growth moving forward based upon some of the things that are happening here in this country? Yeah. Do I also believe that some of the domestic policy issues are going to be harmful to growth here in this country? I do. Am I always looking for a myriad of alternatives to things to try to eke out the highest level return? Yes. But things can also change on a dime. The pendulum swings in this country. You can take a look at the economic growth that we saw during the Obama years. I mean, we should have had a rip-roaring recovery out of the Great Recession, and we didn't. We didn't because there was too much government involvement. We didn't get out of the way. There was too much regulation. There wasn't enough animal spirits in the economy. We're seeing that right now. We're seeing that right now. Despite the fact that all that went on, man, oh man, we take advantage of things that were on sale. You need to understand, you're watching the mainstream business press, okay? And you got all the business news networks out there. And again, it's narcotic-like. The narcotic-like trading addiction. And it's gotten even worse with some of the platforms that they have out there. They're in all their glory right now. They love the volatility, love the ups and downs. Okay, unreasonable markets, volatile markets, they make for great headlines. They make for fantastic ratings. Now, when you know this that when things are not shaky in the markets, do you know that on the average day CNBC is only viewed by 280,000 people? And I'm being honest here, Fox Business maybe about 15,000. I'm not kidding. These are actual numbers. The truth about investing is one of the things that we try to get across to everybody here. It's timeless. It's irrefutable. I didn't create the formula. Okay? I didn't create the formula. Buffett didn't create the formula. And this has been going on for thousands of years. The reality is, and I've explained this before, if the media lets on that their endless drumbeat of buy, sell, hold, recession, bull, bear, IPO, hot funds, all this stuff, it's unnecessary. It's dangerous. Again, two highest rated programs on CNBC. Think about it. Mad Money and Fast Money. I think Shark Tank is probably, one of those. Well, I'm talking ones that are just completely devoted to the markets. Mad Money, Fast Money. Now, if Markowski had a business network, instead I've got a radio show and a podcast. Okay, we're the watchdog on Wall Street. But again, you could also call this program, many aspects of this program, intelligent investing for the long run. Doesn't sound too exciting, right? I'm sure the ratings wouldn't be too high for that. How about the compounding hour? That's not too exciting either. You see, our interest here, and what we have to do is we put yours above ours. We have a fiduciary responsibility to preach truth to the news. One of the greatest investing truths, the primary obstacle achieving real goal-achieving returns. It's not about performance, it's behavior. Okay? It's not what your portfolio, not what your funds do, not your portfolios do. It's what you do. It's what you do. Don't make stupid mistakes. Handle your financial preparation the right way. Constantly rebalance. Don't be afraid. The whole FOMO, fear of missing out, throw that by the wayside. Don't be afraid of taking a profit and reallocating assets. It wasn't a bad idea to take some of those the money in the tech sector and reallocate it into the energy sector when things were flip-flopped at that point in time, right? You didn't have to sell your entire position, but you could have reallocated. This is what's going to make you successful. This is what we do. Again, I encourage each and every one of you out there, learn more about how we go about doing things. You can become a part of our family, clients, 50 states, all over the world, for that matter. Personal CFO program. Have access to everything. Our lawyers, our accountants, how we do our financial preparation. And again, we'll talk about this when we get back in regards to building portfolios around you, okay? Not cookie-cutter crap. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Again, sign up for our personal CFO program. There's a lot of other great stuff there as well. Take advantage. In particular, sign up for that podcast. Watchdog on WallStreet.com or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
You should believe in math, not magic. You're listening to The Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
Another question. Got a few of these this past week. Asking, hey, you guys got any phones? What's your performance like? What type of returns have you guys shown? I get a kick out of that because the answer is depends. Depends. Each and every client of ours is different. Each and every client of ours is different. Everybody has a unique situation, a unique risk tolerance, a unique time frame. So someone that obviously needs to have access to their money over a shorter period of time obviously has to be in, let's say close to risk-free investments. And certain risk-free investments, you're not getting a very high level of return. That portfolio is overall performance is going to be different from somebody's portfolio that has a 20-year time frame, 30-year time frame, 10-year time frame. Again, you're sold all of these performance numbers and whatnot. We're not a hedge fund, okay? We're not. We in essence, are building funds for you. So think of your portfolio, the people who work with us at Markowski Investments. In essence, their portfolio, everything they have is the hedge fund for them. Everything. And guess what? That includes the real estate. That includes our home. Everything that we take into consideration is part of that hedge fund for you. Completely different than what other people are doing. Anyway, mentioning, and we're gonna talk at great length today about inflation, what's going on. I could just go through some of the headlines here quickly. Bacon prices, Homer, reached record levels. Meat prices continue to rise. Biden administration takes aim at big chicken. Big chicken, wow. Used car prices hit record high. Fertilizer prices hit record high. Kraft Heinz warns shoppers get used to paying more for food. And I can go on and on and on. Now, my long-time listeners here on the program know that this is a Watchdog on Wall Street, see, I told you so moment. The lies that people are constantly fed through the mainstream media, through the powers that be, through economists. Economists, the crap that they're shoving down your throat. The top men. I love that scene mentioned here before on the program, the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they're taking the Ark of the Covenant, they're rolling it to the back of a warehouse, and Indiana Jones is all upset. You don't understand what you got there. Don't worry, we got top men working on it right now. Yeah, they got top men working on inflation right now. Don't worry, these economists, that all these Ivy League economists that never get anything right. Never get anything right. It's hilarious how we manage to figure it out, but they can't. Clueless wonders. It's a story here, real cost of inflation to average American households, an extra $175 a month. We had the inflation report come out this week, and again, it's 5.4% year over year. Baloney, malarkey, bull excrement. You know this, and I know this. And my longtime listeners, we've been talking about this for a while. Inflation has been running rampant in this country for a while. Has it gotten a bit parabolic right now? Yes, it has. Yes, it has. It's more than double. You tell me 5.4. Who the hell are you trying to kid? Huh? Take a look at the things that people that they spend their money on a daily basis, whether it be a trip to their local deli, a cup of Starbucks, a tank of gas. I usually don't look. I almost threw up in my mouth when I saw what I filled up my tank this past week. But again, okay, the people in charge continue to urinate on our legs and tell us it's raining. We don't do that. We tell you the truth. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Again, our personal CFO program, account repair kits, you name it, all available there at the site. Watchdog on WallStreet.com, or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street. Bringing America financial freedom one listener at a time. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
We actually had the Atlanta Fed president this past week, Raphael Bostic. I don't know. You better be careful. He's going to end up. He's going to end up losing his job. They're going to have to cancel him in some way, shape, manner, or form. They're probably rifling through his emails or his middle school yearbook, trying to find a way to get rid of this guy because, he's broke with the program, saying that inflation is not transitory. And it's getting worse. Uh-oh. You can't say things like that. Stuff that Judy Shelton has been talking about for years, and that's the reason why she got denied from being on the Fed. But anyway, it was interesting. Bank of America. I give credit where credit is due. I go after these big banks all the time. But from time to time, they put out something that's kind of fascinating and interesting. They put out a chart, a 5,000-year chart on interest rates. According to their chart, I'm looking at this thing, interest rates haven't been this low in 5,000 years. I explained, again, I'm dating myself decades ago. I used to rail against Alan Greenspan. And all of the stupid Fed policies and the perpetual printing of money. Oh, they raised rates a little bit here and there. Driving me nuts because I understood inflation. I also understand the power of compounding. We're really in a pickle right now. In a pickle as investors. I've been in a pickle for a very long time as a money manager. When risk-free assets are losing as much money as they are based upon the environment, the inflationary environment, it makes our lives that much more difficult. You think about even pension funds that we have to manage. And again, you have to have a certain amount of money for institutions, pension funds, you name it, in risk-free assets. Have to, because obviously you need to have cash on hand. You're paying people off out of these pension funds. In essence, that cash is losing money. Cash, the phrase cash is trash. Yeah, it is. You're losing. I described this, back when Greenspan was in charge of the Fed. I said it was as if Alan Greenspan is like Homer Simpson. Now, Homer Simpson would always go into Ned Flanders' garage and steal tools and never return them. Tools that used to be at our disposal are no longer there. They're no longer there. They don't serve, they can't operate. They don't serve the same purpose that they used to. Even when Greenspan was in charge, you could at least get 6-7% on a 10-year treasury. Everybody's jumping over, look at the 10-year treasury went above 1.5. What? You do understand that inflation, just according to the government, is 5.4. I think it's closer to 10. So again, this is what happens, people. This is what happens when you print ungodly sums of money and they need to find a home somewhere. This is where you get cryptocurrencies named FOMO and Doggy Coin. and people start trading digital pictures for ungodly sums of money. This is what happens. This is what you have used cars. The price of a used car has gone up 24% year over year. I've never seen that. Never seen that in my entire life. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, all this printing going on, what was happening. I described this. I'm going to describe it again. Now, I keep going back to this sub-reference in the movies. It's black hole. What is on the other side of the black hole? And the sub-reference is from that really creepy 1979 Disney movie, Black Hole. When I get on the other side and it ends up being purgatory or something like that. It's really kind of creepy. I don't know. Okay? We are seeing some really weird things right now. So what do we do? Okay? They're like, well, Chris, you're talking about inflation. You don't understand black holes. Oh, my God. Should I call Glenn Beck up and get myself a bunker in the backyard and a seed bank and buy myself some gold coins? No. Don't do that. Do what has always worked. Count on what has always worked. Look for companies that are fundamentally sound. We talked about this last week. Companies that build a moat around themselves in regards to their business model. Look to value. Two of the things that in my Watchdog on Wall Street, Markowski Investments, Financial Independence Top 20. One of the points was when equities go through the roof, you get nervous. You get nervous. When stocks drop, you sense opportunity. None of this is going to change. That's not going to change. Has the environment gotten a hell of a lot more difficult? Yes, it has. Yes, it has. But we've been able to deal with that. Again, this is what our personal CFO program, this is what we do. We're here to help. Take advantage. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Get there. Our 24-hour-a-day help hotline, 800-471-5984. We'll be back.
Taking Wall Street's liars, crooks, and cheats out behind the woodshed. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street.
One of the best things about my job, I mentioned this again, is I get to see people succeed. I get to see people succeed. I get to see businesses do well. I get to speak with people in a myriad of different fields, industries, talk about what they do. I want to see, and I'm a big believer, okay, that this country is built upon the fact that upward mobility was always a possibility. It's always a possibility. You can always be moving forward. You can succeed beyond your wildest dreams. But there's a flip side to that, too, because you can fail. And failure is a part of the process. Failure is a part of the process. Human beings, and it's a belief system of ours, is that I do believe that human beings need to overcome obstacles and achieve goals. I do. I think you need to do it throughout your entire life. I think it's about being healthy. I have countless conversations with people looking, close to retiring, and I'm saying, well, you want to retire from this job, don't check out. Don't check out. I know who you are. You might be tired of this at this point in time, but it's not healthy. It's not good. I don't want to lose that. I don't. I think that we're heading in that direction. Again, it's going to be a change. It's an adjustment. And we're prepared to deal with it. Okay? I come on this program, I've been doing this for a long, long time. Countless warnings. Okay, we warned people about the collapse of the dot-coms, financial crisis, the direction the country is headed, highway to hell, road to serfdom, all of these big government, policies and what it was going to lead to. And yes, if you going to sit me down, you and I are going to have a beer together. We're going to talk about the future of this country. I do think at this point in time, unless there's a massive fundamental change, we're going the way of Western Europe. In fact, in many respects, we're already there. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But I've said it again and again and again here on the program. It is what it is. It is what it is. And all the rant and raving and points that I make here on the program are not going to change the terrain, the reality on the ground. Is this something that, yes, that we take into consideration when it comes to the builds that we do in portfolios, the choices we make, the companies put in? Yeah, we have to. Anyway, I want to get further into this. We got to get into a lot of domestic policy issues I want to discuss today on the program and what's taken place in this country. I do believe it's important. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Again, become a part of the Watchdog on Wall Street family. Personal CFO program, account repair kit, all sorts of great stuff. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Our 24-hour day help hotline, 800-471-5984. We'll be back.
Chris Markowski is the Watchdog on Wall Street. This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Anybody see Barack Obama lately? The last time we've heard from Barack Obama, I think, was the whole birthday party fiasco. Remember that? The whole birthday party fiasco where the guy, well, first and foremost, all of his buddies that helped put him into the White House, they got disinvited because they weren't as important as the rap stars that had to show up there. I remember there was also the whole mask controversy as well over the past summer. Where's Barack been? Listen, if I was a betting man, he's somewhere in D.C., okay? I wouldn't be surprised if he is actually in the White House at this point in time. Because everything that is being played out right now is Barack Obama Part 2. It really is. I've seen the clips. I watched the President of the United States in various different press briefings, statements. Come on, people. We all know. We all know that he's having some issues here, and I don't even like pointing it out because I actually feel bad for him. I actually feel bad for him at this point in time. It's almost like elder abuse. It really is. And you'll get, on the right out there, I can't believe this guy's running the country. He's not. He's not. He's being handled. He's being managed. And all you need to do is you listen to some of the White House press briefings and Jen Psaki coming out, some of the statements that she has made. This past week, and I quote, "The president wants to make fundamental change in our economy." No, who said that? That was Barack, man. Barack Obama talked about fundamentally changing the country, fundamentally changing the economy. And those weren't things that Joe Biden used to say back in the day. He's not running the show right now. Again, they knew what they needed to do to get him elected. And no, I'm not going to get into the debate between, stolen elections and all that stuff. I'm not doing that here on the program. They know what it needed to do. He was a guy that had to run to the center. Run to the center. The adults are back in the room, right? He's gone far left. We're going to talk about energy a little bit later on in the program. I want to talk a little bit about the supply chain issues that we're facing right now. This is all self-inflicted, people, okay? It's all self-inflicted. I know this past week, administration, I got the heads of all these unions here, and they're going to keep the ports open 24/7. First and foremost, doesn't make any difference. Again, people are going to make a ton of money, but there's only so much space at the ports to actually stack up the containers. That's a bit of a problem, wouldn't you say? We don't have enough truck drivers right now. Now, again, lots of clients, businesses all around the country, people I know. Truck drivers willing to come out of retirement, get back into the workforce. You know, it takes them almost 8 weeks to get approved to actually drive a truck again. 8 weeks! 8 weeks. You mean to tell me you can't expedite this? You can't figure out a way to make this happen a little bit quicker so we can get more drivers back on the road to get goods from point A to point B? We couldn't have actually moved some of these ships and had sent them to other alternative ports here and around the country. Did you see what Walmart was doing down in Mobile, Alabama? They were actually sending their Walmart workers down there. They're now, because they can afford to do so, major corporations can afford to charter ships. And they are. Most of the ships that carry goods from point A to point B, you're talking 20,000 plus containers. But Walmart and Target and Costco and Home Depot, they're chartering smaller ships now, 1,000, 2,000 containers, going to different places because they can. Which is fine. And again, we understand this. Now, again, think about how Markowski is thinking here when it comes to moat investing and companies that are protected because, again, they can afford it. But then also take a look on the other opposite side. Let's say you're a small gift shop. Various different, items like we have here on my, Main Street in Huntington and Green Lawn here on Long Island, and you can't get stuff. You can't get anything. Hey, you know how many people I'm speaking to? I don't know what we're going to do. We can't get the items here for Christmas. The big stores will, but they won't. Again, how is this good for our economy? How is this good for society? And again, these are things that could be fixed. And I don't know where the hell our transportation secretary, Mayor Pete, has been. He finally came out this past week, and he actually said that the supply chain nightmare could potentially last for years. Yeah, if you people are still in charge, it is going to last for years. You get some simple people that can handle logistics, it'd be taken care of in a heartbeat. And it doesn't make any difference whether it's Democrats or Republicans. You go back to Hurricane Katrina. We couldn't get the goods in. Government couldn't get the goods in, the water in, all that stuff. They put Walmart in charge because they obviously can handle supply chain management, and it was done in a heartbeat. Again, I wish people would finally understand that these people that are supposedly the best and the brightest, that live in some of the wealthiest zip codes in the entire country surrounding Washington, D.C., more often than not are dumb as a box of rocks. How difficult is it to expedite all of these licensings and permits for truck drivers? If we're stuck, I don't know, why not use the National Guard? Why not use the military and their truck drivers to help unclog the bottleneck? This is common sense types of things that, unfortunately, the people that run the country are completely incapable of doing. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Again, become part of the Watchdog on Wall Street family, our personal CFO program, all sorts of great stuff. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street. Well-known author, investment banker, consumer advocate, analyst, trader. Chris Markowski is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
You want answers?
Exposing the lies and myths that the big brokerage firms, the mainstream press, and the government are pushing to keep Americans away from financial freedom.
You can't handle the truth.
Bringing America the truth about what really happens in the financial world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to indulge in fantasy, but in political and economic reality.
This is the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Welcome, everybody. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. How to start off talking about this? I'll delve right into it. It's we've been talking about it here on the program. This $5-6 trillion spending bill. I know they keep calling it 3.5 trillion, and what it's going to do. And again, fundamentally, what Jen Psaki said, which is spokesperson for the administration, again, echoing what Barack Obama wanted, fundamentally changing this country. And again, many people, maybe you want to fundamentally change this country and our economic model. Again, if you could, show me an alternative economic model that has worked, go right ahead. I'm here. I'm all ears. But do me a favor, cut it out with the socialist crap. Cut it out. It was funny. CNBC had an article. CNBC had an article touting all the wonders of this spending package and what it's going to do and get us in line with all of these other developed nations. Other developed nations. You know what that's akin to? That's akin to, we'll say the New England Patriots and their organization looking to get in line with the New York Jets. Why would they do that? We are the innovators. We're the ones that are coming up with the cures. We're the ones that come up with the technology. We're the ones that ended up becoming energy independent as soon as we wanted to. We lead the world, yet we're supposed to emulate countries that are economically are not even close to what we're capable of doing? What sense does that make? But anyway, Jim Banks is in charge of the Republican Study Committee, and he put out a list of bullet points talking about this spending package and the things it's going to do. And again, it echoes much of what we talked about here on the program, much of what we're warning people about. This cycle of dependency that they want to make it bigger. They want more people. They want more people reliant on the government. They want more people looking for a check. We've been told now, look at the employment numbers. Look at how bad it is. Well, you people out there, that extended unemployment, I guess that wasn't the thing, was it, Markowski? First and foremost, it didn't take into consideration the jobs numbers, didn't take into consideration the extended unemployment, not to mention the fact that the extended unemployment is small potatoes compared to the universal basic income scheme that we're running right now with the child tax credit. It's not even close. People are now getting used to right now, if you make under $200,000, you're getting used to getting a government check if you have kids every single month. Here you go. Take a little bit right here. Oh, it's not going to bother you. Here's a little government handout. Here's a government giveaway. And you get people addicted to this crap. I've written columns about this. I've ranted and raved about this on the program. Handouts and giveaways are not the way to go. Not to mention the fact, how are we going to be this massive welfare state and continue to pay for the military that we have? Not to mention the fact, continue to have an open border. How's that going to work? Because I want to just let in on something here. This Biden package, Yeah, you're going to be able to get a lot of these benefits, these handout and giveaways, even if you're not an American citizen. How is this right? How is this fair? We continue to reduce the incentive to work here in this country. Yeah, it was a column about this. I talked about Europe. Democrats are continuing to look for arguments to sell this $5-6 trillion package. And in essence, what they're doing right now is they can't get it through. So what they're doing is it's a budget trick is what they're doing. Is they're just reducing the time frame. They're reducing the time frame. Well, we'll take it down to $2 trillion, but they'll just price the same things out over a shorter period of time. Meaning what? They're just going to have to get renewed. And we all know how spineless Republicans are. Once you start giving money out to people, they're not going to stop it. Once it starts, it's not going to stop. Take a look at again, Europe's cradle-to-grave welfare states. Okay, it's what Bernie Sanders is constantly pitching as a model. Most of them have a much older population in the United States, but doesn't count for their lower labor participation rates and much higher structural unemployment. You can't even compare to what we're doing and what they're doing. Yet again, we want to emulate this. And all of the money, you take a look at some of the green crap that is in this. $8 billion on climate police. $8 billion for a cabal of federally funded climate police, the Civilian Climate Corps, conduct progressive activism on my dime, on your dime. Pushing the Green New Deal in schools, billions there. Pushing the Green New Deal in colleges and universities, $10 billion there. Let me tell you what it's, this universal pre-K they want to have. Do you understand that if you want to, you're going to have to, by law, you're going to have a college degree? You're going to have a college degree to be a child care provider. Now, my mom didn't go to college. She reads about a book a day, and she's very, very bright. And she ran a business out of our house, a home daycare business, when I was younger. And it was great. It was a great business for her. You need a 4-year degree to handle pre-K? I mean, for crying out loud, my kids can go and babysit and they can handle a bunch of kids. It's not a big deal. You know what that's going to do? How many people it's going to put out of work? It's going to hurt all the small in-home daycares. But again, that's by design because they want it all government. Okay? They want little indoctrination centers. All sorts of incentives for illegal immigration. Yeah, free college. That's right. Illegals will get that free college, the 2-year. Yep. Additional student aid. And, of course, you're going to get the enhanced child tax credit. That's right. You are going to get universal basic income if you are an illegal immigrant into this country. I can go on and on and on with all the handouts, all the giveaways, all the kickbacks, what it's going to cost us. And it makes me sad. Saw a story this past week. Tie this all in regards to this ridiculous package and the money that we're spending. For years here on the program, we've gone off on major rants when it comes to our veterans and the way that they're treated, how they are treated. Jon Stewart's got a new program. It's on Apple Plus, and I wanted to see what he was doing. I watched it. I watched the first episode. My blood was boiling. My blood was boiling. In this episode, it talks about these burn pits that the military does out in the field right next to the bases where you're burning everything, medical waste, old batteries, old uniforms, human waste. And again, smoke comes up, wind blows it right over the base. Did this in Iraq, did this in Afghanistan. And all these veterans now that are coming down with these unique forms of cancer. Study after study. Even government studies some years ago warning against this is going to hurt our military personnel. But we did it anyway. So you have all of these vets that are here in the United States that are looking to get treated for these cancers, and our government won't cover it. We won't cover it. We're not paying for this. Can't do. Oh, well, we're not really sure if that's how you got the cancer, all this stuff. Again, you go up and meet a veteran. Thank you for your service. I said this past week on the podcast. These veterans, man, what they must think. What they must be going through their mind. Thank you for my service. Look at how you treat us when we come home. Hey, we can spend billions and billions of dollars on all this stupid crap, and we can't take care of our veterans. I got a story just from Long Island here. I saw it this past week, local newspaper here. Residents of 3 Northports on Long Island VA Medical Center buildings went a week without hot water because a pipe repair project went awry. Think about that for a second. Think about how mismanaged it is. Again, billions of dollars on crap and handouts and giveaways and to illegals, and we can't take care of our veterans. Makes me sick to my stomach. Anyway, watchdogonwallstreet.com. Watchdogonwallstreet.com. Take advantage all the great stuff we have right there at our site. Personal CFO program, account repair kits, our podcast, you name it. Watchdogonwallstreet.com or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
You will never understand it 'cause it happens too fast and it feels so good inside.
The only man who is taking on the Wall Street establishment. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
The Watchdog on Wall Street show. Not only do we take the liars, the crooks, the cheats out behind the woodshed, this is the program where you will hear it first. You will hear it long before it gets out there in the news and everybody comes to the realization. That's what we do here on the program. Get you the facts, defy narratives, defy the BS that's constantly being shoved down your throat. I mentioned Jen Psaki and fundamentally changing the country. I want to go back in time, to the Obama administration. Go back in time to the Obama administration where he is his first energy secretary is a guy by the name of Stephen Chu. And he was a professor. I forget where it was exactly, but he came out and he said that the desire for the Obama administration, and again, I was like a Freudian slip at the time. We want our gasoline prices and our energy costs and prices to be commensurate with Europe's, which are much, much, much higher than ours. Why? Well, because it fits their agenda. If you can artificially inflate the price of fossil fuels, well, then again, people will go and they'll buy solar panels that they want to sell. Sure enough, Jen Psaki, this past week, again, big extension of the Obama administration. Certainly, we all want to keep gasoline prices low, but the threat of climate crisis certainly can't wait any longer. Basically saying the exact same thing. You want a funny story when it comes to energy? I found this hilarious. In the UK, because they went climate change crazy and windmills and solar panels and, oh no, the wind's not blowing and we don't have any energy. This goes out to all you electric vehicle owners out there. Electric vehicle owners in the UK are running into some problems because the UK government is going to shut off their home EV chargers during peak hours. That's right. Your EV charger will not work for up to 9 hours a day to prevent overloading the grid. This is what happens. This is what happens when you decide to get involved in the free market. You decide to intervene and decide that you know what's best. You little utopians out there. How dumb can you be? Honestly, how dumb can you be? They're shutting down factories all over Europe at this point in time, not just the UK, it's in Germany, it's in Spain, it's everywhere because there's not enough electricity. Imagine them all having electric vehicles. Oh, we can't even charge our cars now. How are we going to get from point A to point B? And then you're going to get the Wizards of Smart out there. Oh, it's okay, take your bike. Right. The President of the United States, basically, it's reminded me from, remember Game of Thrones? In Game of Thrones, when the king or whoever was in charge at that point in time would win somewhere, would force the loser and all the soldiers to bend the knee. Bend the knee! Bend the knee. Well, there was the blonde dragon lady there. Remember, they chose not to bend the knee, and she had the dragon light them on fire. Anyway, well, Biden has decided to bend the knee for OPEC. Yeah. President of the United States bending the knee and begging OPEC to ramp up oil production. Hey, Americans, you do realize we don't even have to deal with OPEC if we didn't want to. But we've chosen to do that. We've chosen to take a tool, one of the benefits that we have as being an Americans. We are the natural gas Saudi Arabia. We got more than enough oil here, and we've chosen to say, hey, you know what? Now what? We're gonna go on windmills and solar panels. It doesn't make any sense. And listen, I have no problem. I have no problem with solar panels and windmills, but the technology is not there yet. It's not there yet. These countries in Asia, do you think that they're gonna stop building coal-fired plants? You see the idiocy of this entire thing? It's 2 stories this past week. 2 stories. Again, Europe, because they're so smart over there, the European Brussels and all these wizards of smart bureaucrats thinking they know everything, decided to shut down nuclear power plants all over the continent. How'd that work out? You actually had, and this is I knew this was going to happen. You had Macron come out from France and talk about building new nuclear reactors throughout the country. The same ones we've talked about here on the program. They have these, they're smaller. They don't have the massive towers that are involved. It's really kind of amazing technology because they don't have a choice. Then you had Finland come out this past week, and they're lobbying the EU to give nuclear power sustainable status. Well, it is sustainable. And it's a technology that we should be embracing. And again, I've been paying attention here on the program. You know, we talked about uranium and the importance of uranium. One of the commodities out there that, again, done quite well. Quite well. Energy problems throughout the globe. China having issues right now. Again, major issues, having to shut down factories, blackouts, rolling blackouts, people not being able to take elevators from the first to the third floor, forcing those people to work. They're having to basically go back and get energy, saying they weren't going to buy coal from Australia. Now they're getting coal from Australia. We have a desperate need here in the United States for coal miners because there's so much demand out there. Again, self-inflicted issues. Things that we could be taking advantage of as a country right now. And it's not taking advantage in a bad, this is good take advantage. Supplying the world. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. We'll be back.
Singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long.
Chris Markowski is the watchdog on Wall Street. You should believe in math, not magic. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
Yes, you are. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street show. I'm going to change direction a little bit here. I got to get into some rip-off and scam stories here. You shouldn't be surprised by some of these things. Again, these are see I told you so moments. You're now starting to see some of the insiders at Robinhood selling off major positions in the stock. Again, there are new risk disclosures relating to crypto and whether or not they're going to be able to continue to monetize payment for order flow. I don't think that that's going to change much. I really don't. I think that what in turn is going to happen with Robinhood is that the clients are just going to lose. Their client, which is what's happening right now. I mean, when you trade all of your money away, all of your money away, and listen, I'm sorry, I'm going to equate Robinhood to, again, they're like a bad drug dealer. They're like a bad drug dealer. See, drug dealers don't want their drug users to die, right? They don't want their drug users. They want to get them addicted. They want them to keep coming back for more. Well, Robinhood and their desire to get everybody to trade and sell that order flow to Citadel and these other organizations out there, clients have lost a fortune. An absolute fortune. Kids wiped out all over the place. And it wasn't about investing. It was about gambling. And again, the insiders will get out of their stock positions and they'll do fine. I saw this past week, and it put I'm going to be honest, it put a big smile on my face. Certain guys in business that I look up to, got an enormous deal of respect for and what they've done throughout their careers. And one of those individuals, a guy by the name Barry Sternlicht from Starwood. This guy, basically, was smart, bought up property when property was down after the SNL crisis, built up his business, put together Westin Hotels, the W Hotel, one of my favorite hotels out there. Just, he's a great businessman. So many different things that he's involved with. He was on television this past week as being interviewed, and he actually used the same phrase that we use here on the program when it comes to a lot of these, pie in the sky, crazy tech stocks, investments going through the roof, companies that don't have any earnings whatsoever. There is a greater proportion of companies right now whose stocks have gone through the roof that haven't made a dime than ever before. It's actually worse now than it was during the whole dot-com run-up. The difference between the dot-com run-up and right now is the fact that, hey, you are losing money. You're losing a great deal of money on risk-free assets. So money is not flowing out of these things as quickly as it normally would. And I'm not, again, you can prop these things up for a very long period of time. But Barry was talking about musical chairs. Same thing we talk about here. Who is going to be the last person holding on when these things that have no value whatsoever, all of a sudden, guess what? Go down to that intrinsic value. This is investing 101. Okay, this is Benjamin Graham. Benjamin Graham, intelligent investor. Things trade above their intrinsic value. Things trade below their intrinsic value. Eventually, they trade for what they're worth. Now, again, I don't have Biff's Almanac from Back to the Future 2. I don't have a crystal ball that can see the future. But again, things will trade for what they're worth at some point in time. And I just know I don't want to be left holding the bag when that happens. A great example of this was Enron. We're warning people, before I had a radio show. I was just doing guest appearances on radio shows back at this point in time. Enron is the world's most innovative company. Fortune magazine, 5 years running. Now, I'm looking at this company. I'm trying to make heads or tails out of what the hell they actually do. I'm trying to understand the trading of bandwidth. Couldn't understand it. I had clients that worked for Enron that couldn't really explain what they did either. And I warned everybody when it was 1999, wrote a column about it, understanding Enron. I said, hey, listen, something's amiss here. Something's not right. And for a year, people making fun of me. Hey, Markowski, that Enron pick of yours. Stock kept going up. Stock kept going up until it didn't. And it wasn't even a pick of ours because we don't short stocks. It's not something that we do. But again, boom, collapsed. Enron went to its intrinsic value. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com. Again, become a part of the Watchdog on Wall Street family. Our personal CFO program, account repair kits, podcast, you name it. WatchdogOnWallStreet.com. We'll be back.
Bringing America financial freedom one listener at a time. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street with Chris Markowski.
Another story. Again, this is reported on this. This is it was about a year ago. About a year ago since that Archegos Capital Management thing imploded in the market manipulation that was involved with this, and how all of the big banks were, tied into this, and how the powers that be are able to manipulate markets. Again, this is part of the terrain. I talk about terrain all the time. This is a part of what we have to deal with on a daily basis. Yeah, you go a little Sun Tzu of art of war. I'm not going to get involved in these areas or try to do these types of things, or try to even play these types of things, because you can't. Okay? You can't. You're going to lose. So, you're going to be a trader, are you? Really? Really? So, again, I look at this as people think that they're going to beat the casinos. You can't. And I watch this. I've been involved in so many different aspects, different parts of Wall Street, and I've seen so much. From investment banking to the analytical work to foreign currency trading, and every single thing that I've been involved with, that I've watched, I've seen when I worked in downtown New York, it's all geared towards the firm. It's not about the client. You get it? And they have these big clients in various different investment groups, and again, they're not going to lose. Do you understand? They're not. You're going to be on the other side of that. Every great example is that whole, GameStop, AMC type of stuff out there. Once the big guys start to lose, they change the rules of the game. It's as if, okay, you're an underdog, and you're beating the big football team, and it comes down to the end of the game, and you're losing, You're losing by a field goal. Losing by a field goal. No, you're losing by a point, and you're lining up to kick a field goal. Kick the field goal, goes through. You win the game. No, wait a second. Wait a second. The referee comes out. No. The rules have changed. Rules have changed. A field goal is now only worth 1 point. It's not right, but it's the terrain, and you need to understand that. This is why you need to be focused old school. Only focus old school. Fundamentals of companies. Valuations. Cutting and trimming portfolios, taking profits, understanding that compounding is the royal road to riches. These are the things you need to do to be successful. Not trying to outsmart these people in charge, because, again, they will change the rules. Watchdog on WallStreet.com, again, is our site. I invite each and every one of you, again, to become a part of our Watchdog on Wall Street program. It's personal CFO program. Our accountants, our lawyers, everything is at your disposal. In essence, it is a family office for everyone. Okay, you don't need to be a $10 million guy to work with us. You can be just getting started, and we will help you. Watchdog on WallStreet.com, or give us a call, 800-471-5984.
You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street. Taking Wall Street's liars, crooks, and cheats out behind the woodshed. You're listening to the Watchdog on Wall Street.
Ishar, welcome back. It is the one, the only, the Watchdog on Wall Street. Always honored to have you tuned into the big program. CNN, obviously, there are warnings right now talking about the supply chain crisis, and consumers can't expect to shop like pre-pandemic. Like the pre-pandemic times, things are different right now. They'll probably embrace, hey, we'll have a Soviet Union-style Christmas where various shelves will be bare. Again, I think, some stuff is going to go missing. Do I think that this is the end of the world? No. My biggest concern, again, is the small businesses out there that might not survive. There's a reason why they call it Black Friday, right? You do understand that? You're surprised how many people don't call it Black Friday. Black Friday is the day of the year. It used to be the day of the year where, retailers would go into the black. So much money would be spent at the holidays that, again, they are, they're not in the red anymore. They're in the black. It's going to be very, very difficult on small business owners out there if their shelves are bare. There isn't going to be a Black Friday. So this story as well. Again, this is a major issue when it comes to employment here in this country. You've got large swaths of the country still to this day that have eviction moratoriums. That's right. You can't pay rent. You can't get thrown out. Can't get thrown out of the apartment. You can continue to stay in that place rent-free. Again, we've equated this to the Quartering Act of the Brits prior to the Revolutionary War, where the colonists had no choice. If a British soldier wanted to stay in your house, you had to put that soldier up, had to take care of that soldier, had to feed that soldier. Again, same thing. It's the government telling private property owners that they really don't have any real rights over their property. Yeah, you still got to pay property taxes on it, and you still have to maintain that property. You still have to take care of it, but you're not allowed to collect rent. Well, the wizards are smart in the city of New York have decided to take this one further. They're now considering, I'm not making this up, requiring landlords to provide, I love this, free internet to tenants. Free. It's free. The fallacy of free. It's not free. It's not free. The landlord has to pay. And you know what they put in there too? And they're not allowed to pass this cost on down to the people that are staying in their apartments. the hell are you talking about? Of course they're going to have to pass this cost. They put things out like that. They say things like this. They open their mouths and they say such stupidities. I mean, these are people that aren't qualified, for crying out loud, to run a lemonade stand. Yet they're put in charge and they're going to dictate to others. Again, people, elections have consequences. It is what it is. Majority of restaurant operators say business conditions are worse now than 3 months ago. You don't say. Again, I mentioned this before. It would almost be wonderful. You talk about having prerequisites. You have prerequisites in college to graduate or whatever it may be. There should be a prerequisite to actually being a member of Congress. You should probably have to be able to run a business. And these people in charge with the rules and the regulations that they put on business owners, they don't have a clue. And yes, the conditions are much, much worse. I feel bad. I walk into a restaurant. How many people have done this? Walk into a restaurant, you take a look around, and the restaurant's busy. And you're just looking. You're looking for staff. Maybe one or two waiters in the entire place, maybe a busboy. And scrambling, people scrambling, running around all over the place trying to make things work. Yeah, it's very difficult. You don't have workers. It's very difficult for restaurant owners because their food costs have skyrocketed. They've gone through the roof. Not to mention all of the moronic COVID mandates that you put into place. Do you understand the fines that are involved? The fines that are involved if they happen to catch you, if you screw up a little bit, thousands and thousands of dollars. Anyway, again, we got to talk a little bit small businesses right now. We're going to get into tax next hour in the program as well. The big package, big spending package that the president has put forward. We discussed earlier on. It's going to hit small businesses harder than it is going to hit anyone else. A marginal 46% rate on subchapter S and LLC companies. Again, what does that do to make the dynamic nature, the would be dynamic nature of our economy? You don't think people are going to take a look at risk reward and say to themselves, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Do you know how many business opportunities that we look at all the time where I just say, well, I can't do this right now. We can't invest in this right now. These are smaller businesses. Can't do it. I don't know what the tax rules are going to be. And if this stuff happens to come to pass, it's not worth it. It's not worth the aggravation. Okay, it's not worth the extra time and work because I'm going to have to send too much of that money to Washington, D.C. This is a calculation, my friends, that business owners need to make. Anyway, got to take another break. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Again, get there. Take advantage of all the great stuff we have right there at our site. Watchdog on wallstreet.com, or give us a call, 800-471-5984. That's 800-471-5984. We'll be back.
As the people leave their way to say hello.
Chris Markowski is the Watchdog on Wall Street.